Welcome to Blackbird Sound, the greasiest home recording channel on YouTube. You may have seen my vlog on my personal channel where I head to Vancouver to record drums on the new Castle record. Since Blackbird Sound is the greasiest home recording channel, we are a home studio. Now, Rain City Recorders in Vancouver, that is a big boy studio. So me and J-Rock are going to have a bit of an impromptu discussion here and just chat about some of the difference. Maybe Jared's going to ask me some questions and we'll see how it goes. So let's toast up these Blackbird Stouts and chat away. Face each other. Cheers. Good to be back.
Yeah.
Back at the Grease studio.
Yeah. So how was the trip?
It was good. It was good. Yeah, flights were good and everything. It was all good. It's kind of weird, just looking. We're so used to looking at the camera.
I'm used to looking at myself over there.
I know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is. It's different. Yeah, a whole different experience.
A little different. So
just like going to a real studio.
Just like going to a big boy studio. Yeah. So definitely, I got quite a few points in mind about what some of the differences were. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the first initial kind of reaction when you get there?
It's a lot more organized than here.
Yeah.
We're a home studio in the basement here, right? So everything, we kind of have things tucked away in little corners and stuff, right? And this is in your house, in your basement. So it's like, at the studio, there's not really like no one's living there.
Yeah.
So certain.
Well, to an extent, I mean, because your space where you stayed when you were there was in the studio, right?
Yeah, like at that particular studio, they have like a loft above the studio, like a little apartment thing, so you can kind of go and sleep, and there's a little kitchen. So it was actually a really cool facility to be able to wake up in the studio and go downstairs and start recording. It was pretty wicked. Kind of similar to you here, I guess, right? It's just every day you do that.
Yeah, only every day I wake up and go to work.
Yeah, well, exactly, right?
A little bit different, right? But
slightly, yeah, slightly. Yeah.
So what was it like? Like, when you would wake up, I guess nobody's there yet. Could you just go into the studio and start playing drums if you wanted to?
I could, yeah, I did. Actually, I think I did that pretty much every day. I would basically get up, go and grab some breakfast around the corner, grab some coffee or, tea. I don't drink coffee because it's disgusting, but I'll go grab some tea, grab some breakfast, wake up, warm up a little bit on the drums, and everyone would show up around 10 o'clock and kind of get after it. Yeah, I would say the big standout thing when I first got there is it was one of the things I noticed was it's definitely like a lot more like organized, like a business. Like Jesse Gander, the fellow who, recorded it and mixed it and everything all like that. He knew how to he knew where every little microphone was, like everything. He knew all the little tricks. Like us, because we don't really have any formal training in this at Blackbird Sound. We started this back in the day, a couple of years ago. We do this on the side. Probably noticed, but we are not experts. So there, like Jesse, he's like very dialed in, like as a business. Everything, he can get things dialed in very quickly. Whereas us, we're kind of figuring everything out as we go.
Yeah,
so it's a bit more like...
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that was kind of a main difference. It was definitely more like a lot more efficient in a lot of ways because it's something you pay for, right? Us, we do it. This is our home studio.
Yeah.
You're paying for a service to record at that studio, so it's it's really different.
Definitely a different atmosphere when it comes to that because I don't like when you're not paying for it and it's just your own place and.
Yeah.
It's kind of, if you're doing a little bit of dicking around, it's not really that big of an issue, right? Yeah,
because you're only limited to, your own personal time because it's your space. But like if you're running a business like Rain City Recorders, like you got to be quick. You can't be slowing the project down because I got to figure out where my microphone is or how do I hook up this.
Sorry guys, I got to go hit Long McQuaid up and buy an extra XLR cable because I'm one short.
Right, yeah, like you got to be dialed in, and they are. It was excellent.
Yeah. So when you showed up, everything was already set up for you, I guess, or.
No, so they had the kind of like a selection of drums.
Yeah.
In like a separate room. So like I got there and the studio was like the live room was empty. So we went through and like they had like some more vintage kits. They had some newer stuff. So we kind of picked out what drums we were going to use. Like I talked a little bit about it with Jesse, like what sound we're going for, and we kind of picked out this snare drum.
Yeah. And pieced together a kit based on kind of what you're going for with the sound for the band, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. Trying about that a little bit.
Yeah. And you brought your own cymbals, I guess?
I brought, of course, Dream cymbals. Had to use those, and they sounded awesome on the recording, right?
Yeah, that's cool. So, like, when you get there, and once the drums are all set up and everything, like, did you have to tune them, or...
They were already kind of tuned up, ready to go.
Like
Yeah.
just picking them up off the shelf and
Pretty much, yeah,
pretty
like-
much ready to go.
Yeah, because like I said, this is like an actual business, and they're making records all the time, right? So
Yeah. Did they have like a guy that comes in and does that?
no,
or?
Jesse actually the engineer guy, he had them all kind of tuned up, and
Okay.
they just did like records and stuff like previously, so it's all kind of ready to go on the shelf. And to be honest with you, it's kind of like with us, we've had to like experiment here, like what tunings work best in this room, and that's one thing we've experimented with here.
Yeah.
With them, it's like I kind of just had to like turn that off.
I'd imagine they already have like their tuning to the room
Total, like
to tape or whatever
Exactly.
they're using.
yeah, like,
dialed in.
Yeah,
pretty
they didn't
good.
record a tape; they recorded digitally with a tape emulator. But
Yeah.
yeah, like, and I kind of just, so for me, I had to kind of just turn that off and just trust, okay, these drums sound good. Like, Jesse has the ears. He knows, like, the sound. He knows this room. He knows. And to me, honestly, it sounded good to my ear anyways. Like, I wouldn't have really changed anything.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, like, for me, I just showed up ready to play the songs. And everything was kind of dialed in already.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
And like the song's already completely written by the time you got there? Or?
Yeah, like me and Matt, were sending the files back and forth. Like Matt sent me the demos, then I would send like a version of me play. I'd learn the song and then send it back over, and then tweak a couple things and things like that. So there was kind of like a discussion in the months prior. We did some of the pre-production here at Blackbridge Sound. So yeah, so a lot of the songs were kind of hashed out before, and then we made little tweaks as we went
Yeah.
as well, right?
Like in the studio.
Yeah, like maybe try this fill or little things like that, right?
Yeah. That's cool.
Change some of the grooves around to work better with, because some of the demos, as most people that have recorded albums and things, some of the demos were a bit more flushed out, and then some of them were kind of more works in progress by the time we got to record. So it was like kind of, we had to figure out a few things.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the demos were very complete.
What's it like for monitoring and playback and stuff? Like you had your own little mixer by the
That little
drums?
mixer, yeah, I could kind of adjust, like if I wanted to hear more of my bass drum or more of the bass or more of the guitar
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
That's cool. So it's kind of similar to what we have going on here, right? We have your little mixer by the drums, and
Yeah.
you can control your own click and backing tracks kind of individually. And
One thing that was different than how we do it here at Blackbridge Sound is because we don't really do any editing of the drums. Like we just do like one take, and that's it.
Yeah.
So there, because it's more of like a refined production, you'll record the song a couple times, and then sometimes they'll say like, try it with more fills, or
Yeah.
try it a bit more swung, or like maybe, because then what Jesse will do, and he's an absolute wizard at this, he'll go through and, I like that fill from take 3, I'll put that with main take. Or,
yeah.
So he kind
Which
of...
is pretty much how you would expect any professional album to be
Absolutely,
done, right?
yeah. I mean, like that's how they did the Black Album. If you watch A Year and a Half in the Life of Metallica, they're doing it differently. They're doing it with tape.
Yeah, I think it was a lot more of a hassle for them.
Oh,
Like,
for
literally
sure.
cutting and taping tape
Oh,
back
it would have
together.
been
That'd be a nightmare.
It would have been crazy, and especially if you watch that footage. There's part of it where Lars is sitting there and he's got clipboards and going through like, I like this fill, and there's like 20 takes of the song. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy, and doing it all on tape. Whereas with how we did it with Jesse there, he was kind of just like he could do it like on the fly. Like,
Yeah.
he had all the keyboard shortcuts. Okay,
Yeah,
that
he's
fill
got
is there.
all his hotkeys.
Yeah, totally
Yeah.
dialed in. Whereas there's no tape. No tape was injured during the recording of this record.
Yeah, I think the only hotkey I think I have dialed in here is a spacebar for play and stop.
Yeah.
you know?
Well, the R is record, right?
That's news to
See?
me. See,
See?
I always click the button.
J-Rock's learning new things
Yeah.
here. See,
I
look what
didn't
we
know you
learned.
could- I didn't know you could just push R.
I think so. I
it
think
R?
that's what I do at my place at home. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What were they using? Pro Tools?
Yes, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, it must have. I'm pretty sure it's Pro Tools.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a license for Pro Tools.
Okay.
It's very old.
Right.
Very old version.
I have a license for
What I do.
driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Pretty cool.
Would you drive with this nice Blackbridge Stout?
I probably wouldn't drink too many Blackbridge Stouts and drive. I'd maybe drink maximum 1. But yeah.
What was the room like? I'm assuming they had a lot of treatment on the walls and stuff like that.
Yeah, ask that again, yeah. Okay, so, well, no, I was kind of looking weird.
But you're looking weird now too. What's the difference? So what was the room like in the studio? Like I'm assuming they had a lot of more kind of treatment on the walls and stuff, because we're pretty bare in here. We don't really have anything except this nice sound diffusing wall.
Sound diffusing Marshall stack. Marshall and Crank stacks. So like it was a totally like designed studio. They didn't have like parallel walls, like the glass like for the control room kind of went on an angle like that. Like it was all like there was. I mean, I'm not too like nerdy with that stuff, but there was like stuff in the corners probably like it was dialed in and definitely designed properly.
See, like I did a bit of that here, but like obviously designing it all myself. But like the walls themselves are like the 90 degrees that you would expect with a normal wall, but there's no two walls in this room that are the same length, which I think is supposed to make a big difference, but I'm assuming they did all like weird angles and stuff. And
like if you walk in there, it's weird, there's different, and they got stuff up. Like for us, this is, Jarrett designed this studio in the basement here, and we are going to do more of that stuff, like, dampening, like sound dampening.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll get to it. It's an expensive process for like a home studio type thing.
Total.
So it's kind of like we're getting a decent sound as it is.
For sure.
And later on we'll kind of experiment and see what we can do to improve it, but
for sure, like we're kind of like we said before, we're not like professionals at this like Jesse is. We're kind of figuring this out as we go, and if you look back at our old videos and then see like how far we've come, like the difference is night and day. Like we've made a lot of go.
For sure, you can tell if you watch our first drum video. It's like
it's awful.
This drum sound is. I mean, it's all right, but like you can tell there was definitely a big learning curve from there to where we are now.
For sure,
I do think this made a difference, like diffusion wise.
Probably, yeah. Like Walt Disney calls, he always said Disneyland will never be finished because you're always upgrading it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like with Blackbridge Sound, we'll probably never finish this place. Like we'll always be tinkering with it. Whereas I feel like a place like Rain City Recorders, they probably do tinker with it as well.
Yeah.
But it's ready to go.
Yeah.
Like they got all the gear, like it's all dialed in. Whereas we're always going to be dialing this in.
Yeah, I'm sure their tinkering is more like hey, we're adding like some new mics, or we got this new drum kit we're going to add to the arsenal.
Yeah,
which I guess is kind of.
I guess they are kind of tinkering it, but they're just a lot further ahead than we are.
Yeah,
Blackbridge
for sure.
Sound, but. So it was pretty cool, like for me, like doing that record and to see the differences, because I've recorded in like professional studios before, but not really since we've started this channel and started Blackbridge Sound.
Yeah.
So for me, I had kind of different eyes, and I noticed different things that I probably didn't notice back, in the day when I would have been like when we recorded at Metalworks or whatever other studios. I was looking through different eyes, and I picked up quite a few things that I ideas that I want to bring to Blackbridge Sound eventually and stuff, and learn quite a few things. But also too, I am happy with what we've done here at Blackbridge Sound as well. Like because we're not like spending crazy budgets on stuff. Like we're kind of just like combining the gear we have and buying some new gear here and there and experimenting. So this recording experience has really shown me like how far we've come.
Yeah.
How far we could go, and it's like it's kind of exciting because it's like it shows where you could go with this. Right?
Yeah. So what were some of the things that you would kind of take from your experience there that we could incorporate here?
I mean, obviously, like getting more proficient in watching Jesse go through and how quickly he was able to get everything. Whether it's keyboard shortcuts or just how dialed in they were with like this is where the cables are and this is how we wire everything up. Like, I think just some of those workflow type things would be good because we're doing more stuff like we're doing now. We're doing tracking for people here at Blackbridge Sound. So it's like a bit more of a dialed in thing because like we said before, like we're figuring this out as we go.
Yeah.
I think, and we are making good strides in this. Like I think just like having it a bit more dialed in, ready to go. I think that's kind of some of the main things I would say. And honestly, some of the, because I'm not like too technical on the technical side of things. Jarrett here is kind of more like the one that is dialed in with like the technical stuff here and does all the engineering and all the mixing and all that. He's a bit more dialed in with that stuff, and I've always been like, I don't really understand like what sound dampening does.
Yeah.
But I will say like being in that room and how it was kind of more designed and sound dampened, like it was really quick to get really good sounding drums and like it sounded good right away.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, we've kind of messed around in here to try to get the sounds. But then it was like, it sounded good like right out of the box. So
could you notice a difference just standing in the room versus?
Yes.
versus
like
somewhere
just
else.
like the sound, and not even like the drum sound, just like the sound of like
not even what's coming through the mics or anything, just like sitting
like
there.
even when I was standing in that room before there was any drums in it, it just sounded different.
Yeah.
Like the room, like even if I was to sit in this room or any room, anyone's room, a room has a sound.
Yeah.
And I noticed it sounded like different.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on what it was, but it just sounded quite different.
The room noise.
The room noise, yes.
Yeah.
The room noise was different, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why, like, I know in, like, movies and stuff, like, they'll take, when they're doing, like, on-location filming, they'll take, like, just a pure silence kind of recording to it so they can add that to their backing track. So it's not...
Really?
So, yeah, so it's not, like, when there's no dialogue, it's not just total silence.
Yeah.
Because you know how when you just clip the silence out, you notice that nothing's there, but like you want some sort of little background noise there, like they do kind of stuff like that, right? So it's every room has a sound for sure.
Another thing I did notice too was that studio is a lot more like they can accommodate different kinds of projects because it's a big open live room.
Yeah.
Like they do like full bands, they're live off the floor. They can do like kind of string sections, like small orchestra type stuff. They can do all kinds of different kinds of projects in that studio because it's more of an open space. Whereas us, this is a small room and tucked into the corner of the basement. You kind of got a drum set there and a little closet for guitar amps and like they have a lot more versatility in what they can do.
Yeah, like we haven't really tried doing like a live type thing, but I don't really think you could in here.
No, there'd be so much like bleed.
Like I think you could if you were to reamp the stuff later, but I don't think you could do it all at the same time type deal.
Like because they have different, they got all kind of closets as well.
Yeah.
They can tuck like guitar amps into. They got all like on wheels, like these like big like foam. I don't know if they're foam or whatever they are, but these
like
big,
a baffle type
yeah,
thing.
like they can kind of close in the drums and stuff. They can kind of close in like an amp, like
get a little bit of separation anyways.
Total, yeah. Like they're kind of more dialed in with that. They like I said, it's a professional working studio.
Yeah.
That they're like ready to go. Like if like the idea is like if you go in to record your record or whatever your project is, you're spending very little time dialing stuff in. It's already dialed in for you.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea of that. And everyone works differently too. Like some people like that process of dialing into sound. Like at Blackbird Sound here, like even though like we spend a lot of time dialing things in, and especially earlier we did a lot, like I enjoy that side of it, but it's nice to see the other side where it's like a full production, like it's a business.
Well, I feel like they've already, in their past span of their career, they've already kind of gone through that and
I'm sure,
dialing in what makes and what doesn't make a good drum sound.
For sure.
Or they've gone through some sort of educational process, which we really haven't done.
Very little. Yeah, I mean Jesse, who I worked with, there's a few engineers at that studio, but Jesse, who I worked with, I think he has over 20 years of experience. He's probably recorded hundreds of albums, probably something like that. He's working all the time. Like he's there. I think he said he's there 20 days a month or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
You spend 20 days a month like recording full time, you're gonna get good at it.
Yeah, which is definitely a big difference because we'll do like here, like my experience recording and mixing live drums is probably like once a month or so.
Yeah,
right?
it's just what, because we do this here like in our spare time, like when our schedules line up to do this, right?
Yeah.
It's not our jobs. Like Blackbird Sound is something we do.
Yeah.
On the side, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Jesse's doing it. It's like you, like with your job as a mechanic, right? You're a lot more dialed in fixing cars than like I would be figuring out how to fix it. Right?
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
more of a
Yeah.
streamlined process, right?
Yeah.
But that's what you pay for.
Yeah.
You kind of pay.
You pay for that service.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it's quite a few differences, and it was a really cool, really eye-opening experience to go in there and do that. It was really cool, and Jesse was great to work with as well. I learned a lot from him. He's very easygoing, and it was good. He was able to really dial in the sound quickly and stuff. And
yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, no, I just want to say thanks to Rain City Recorders and thanks to Jesse Gander. It was a great experience with recording with you there in the studio, and thanks for Castle for having me on the album. It was my honor to get in there and record those songs. I'm really stoked with how they sound. I'm super excited for everyone to hear it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's gonna be a really cool record when it's done and everything. So
yeah. See how it sounds.
Yeah. See how it sounds. See how it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we want to know what you thought. Did you check out the new Castle record? Did you check out my vlog? Did you check out this vlog? Did you check out anything?
I hope they checked out this vlog.
Yeah, if they've made it this
If
far.
they got this far, they should have checked out
You
this.
probably checked it out, but let us know what you thought in the comments. If you have any questions, love to hear from you there, and hope you have a great day. Thank you for checking out this video. Thanks for checking out the album. And yeah. Blackbridge Sound, Castle, Rain City Recorders, Jesse Gander, Mike Cotton, Jarrett Lowry, Dave Mustaine.